Imagine a snowstorm so fierce, it changes everything you thought you knew about the Division 2. Not just a weather effect, but a living, breathing threat that forces you to adapt, rethink, and survive. That's exactly what the developers are building with the Division 2 Survivors. A completely new experience, led by creative director Magnus Jansen, that aims to bring back that raw intensity of the original survival mode while expanding it into something even bigger, something that redefines how you play and how you interact with other agents. Now, here's the thing. This isn't just a side mode. This is a full-blown evolution of the Division 2, designed to give players complete freedom, PvE, PvP, solo, or squad. You decide your path.
One thing that I've seen people talk about, and I just wanted to confirm that we will have both a PvP and a PvE option. A group play always, like that's a given for the Division. So for me, it's so central to the whole Division experience that you can decide what you want to do on any given day. Do I want to have that adversarial experience, or do I want to go in and collaborate with people? And so that's something we're bringing back for Survivors, but we want to improve it.
The vision behind Survivors is built on one powerful idea: player choice. Do you want to go head-to-head in unpredictable, high-stakes PvP encounters, or would you rather team up and take on the environment together, braving the storm and scavenging for survival? That choice is entirely yours. Magnus Jansen made it clear. This new experience is all about bringing players together, not pushing them apart.
Obviously, we're always looking to improve. One thing that I want to mention that I don't think is perfect, is when you're playing in PvE, you spawn and you run into people that are not in your group. Sometimes there can be almost like an adversarial feeling where you're not communicating correctly, and to just avoid stealing each other's loot or stepping on each other's toes, you sort of split up, which to me is like the opposite of what we want to create. We want to, in PvE, right? We want to create, how do we have extend a hand and help out and collaborate better. So that's an area where we're looking to improve for Survivors when it comes to the PvE side of things.
But what's really going to set Survivors apart is the environment. The developers are taking that iconic howling snowstorm from the Division 1 survival mode, the one that players still talk about years later, and pushing it to the next level. Imagine starting your mission on a bright, crisp winter morning, the sun glinting off the ice-covered streets of DC. And then, out of nowhere, the wind picks up, the temperature plummets, and visibility drops to almost nothing. Suddenly, NPCs can't see you as easily, but you also can't see them. Your detection range, your tactics, even your route, all of it changes on the fly. Every trip through the city feels different. Every fight becomes unpredictable.
What else can we expect from the weather?
As I mentioned, right, that bad snowstorm is central to the experience. But what we really want to add to that in Survivors is to just more variety, expand.
Mm-hmm.
What about a beautiful, clear, daytime, crisp winter day with the risk of a snowstorm? And what that does in terms of dynamic, it changes the temperature dynamically, it changes the NPC detection ranges dynamically, and you just have to adapt your plans on the fly, and that is going to make it more replayable, you need a bigger toolbox in terms of your tactics, etc.
And speaking of DC, it's not the same city you remember. The snowstorm has reshaped everything. The streets are buried, landmarks are frozen over, and familiar areas from the base game have been completely transformed. What was once a safe zone might now be a war zone. Places you thought you knew are now battlegrounds filled with new stories and secrets. Even the underground is being rebuilt from the ground up, literally. The sewers and tunnels beneath DC are being massively expanded, giving players alternate routes, shelter during blizzards, and a new layer of tactical depth.
What can you tell us about the map? Like, what do you think players will think about the map? Is it going to be familiar or not?
I mean, we are, well, I'm not, but the people upstairs are hard at work transforming the Washington D.C. that you know, right? Adding new discoveries, adding new surprises, and so stories. The events and the situation that the city is in now with the snowstorm. It's created new stories. We need to reflect that in the environmental storytelling, but also in the locations that you find. So there's a lot of that transformation going on, but it's also about the gameplay and supporting that variety of weather. Because if a snowstorm hits, you might want to duck in, go into the underground, especially if there's no good indoor above ground passage available. So you go down into the underground, and we expand that network.
Oh, we have some beautiful.
We expand the sewer system, the underground system, to allow for more passengers, more crisscrossing, alternative paths, especially when combined with the temperatures that we'll be seeing during the snowstorms. So that's one way that we're transforming. The final way that I want to talk about is that because of the events that's led up to the situation that you're in Survivors, there's been a lot of change to many of the places you know, and that is perhaps the most exciting thing to work on. And I can't tell you how amazing and sort of like almost forbidden it feels to be fighting in a place that was previously not an area that you could be fighting in the main game. So those are some of the exciting ways in that we're transforming DC so that everyone will get a fresh experience when they get to play Survivors.
One of the most exciting parts of this project is the Elite Task Force, or ETF program. It's coming back in a big way. Over 3,000 players applied, but this time, the selection isn't about your SHD level or your in-game stats. The goal is diversity, players from different regions, play styles, and experience levels, all working together to shape the future of the division. Some of these ETF members will even get to play test Survivors next year, providing real feedback during development. That's a huge step toward making this experience something the entire community can feel connected to.
So during Gamescom, we discussed how the ETF will be revamped, the Elite Task Force program, that's our inside program, and how they and the community will take part in, helping shape the Division 2 Survivors. Where are we in that process?
Yeah, so the ETF is very important to our plans for not only Survivors, but the whole Division 2 and the future of the franchise. We're super excited to get more people in, and after reading 3,000, more than 3,000 applications, I got to know a lot of powerful stories, a lot of cool players that are part of our community. I felt that it was a very good experience to get to know more about the players who care so much about this game, and we're going to finally send the invitation to the people selected this week and next week. So keep an eye on your email. We're going to contact people through email. I can guarantee that the way that we select people was not based on performance, so it's not the top shade levels players. We're trying to get a very diverse sample of who is our community, people from different regions, from different experience, different profiles, the way that they engage with the game. So yeah, I'm super excited to this new phase of the ETF. And if you don't have the lucky to be one of the selecteds, I'm sure that there are going to be more opportunities in the future as well. But for those who are going to join us, we have a lot of things exciting ahead of us. And one of them is actually that we are aiming to have some of the ETF members playing Survivors next year. So that's going to be huge. We're super excited to have real players playing Survivors, helping Magnus on the development of this experience. And yeah, I'm super excited for it.
Magnus Jansen and the team are calling this early in development. But the direction is already clear. This is not just about surviving the cold, it's about surviving together. It's about rebuilding that tension, that thrill, that sense of uncertainty that made the original survival so iconic. And the next big reveal? That's coming in November. So whatever's planned next, it's going to be worth watching closely. So now the question is, how do you feel about this? Do you want to see the Division 2 return to its gritty, survival-driven roots? Would you prefer to team up with others in the storm, or test your skills solo in the harshest conditions yet? And how do you think the dynamic weather system will change the way you play? If you're excited for what's coming and you want to stay in the loop as the Division 2 Survivors develops, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates or deep dives as they drop. Stay tuned to ManaWar Gaming, your source for everything The Division.